When we were doing our protein sparing modified fast, we struggled with coming up with different recipes and dishes that were high protein, low fat, low calorie, and tasted good.
Boy, that was a challenge.
But we rose to that challenge and we came up with a protein powder custard.
And today, we're gonna share that recipe with you. Hey, what's up, family? I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are Two Crazy Ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like product reviews, we do recipe videos, we talk about various keto topics, and then every Monday, we sit down on the couch for Keto on the Couch. We just kind of talk about what's going on in our lives for the week.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com. That's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
So like I was saying, we really struggled with coming up with different tasty recipes that were high protein with low to moderate fat.
Because fat adds flavor.
Yeah, and it really was a struggle. And we started looking around like, what could we use? We want to add protein, so we started messing around with protein powders, and we came up with this custard. Now, I do want to start off with saying we are going to use Keto Chow, which is basically a whey protein powder that has some vitamins and nutrients added into it.
Yeah.
What that means is you can use pretty much any whey protein powder. You don't have to use Keto Chow. You could use the Quest protein powders. You could use the, like the different zero carb ones that you'll find online. I'll leave a link for a couple of them down below. You don't have to use Keto Chow.
But we might as well use what we use. I mean, you could probably buy little packets of protein powder at the Dollar Tree right now, but do you know where your calcium's from?
Yeah, and the other thing is we know the ingredients in Keto Chow. We know that they're good quality products. They also have lots of flavors, and this recipe is going to work with any one of their sweet flavors. We didn't really try it with a savory flavor.
Chicken noodle pudding.
But it will work with all of the sweet flavors. And here's the thing about this recipe. This is probably the easiest recipe that Rachel will ever make.
It's so easy.
Even Rachel can make it.
And we have proved it because I've made it a couple times in our test batches to be like, is this too good to be true? Can we continue making this over and over again and we're getting the same result? This wasn't an accident. Like, we've actually got something this easy on our hands.
Yeah, it's very easy to make. The only thing is you will have to cook this in a bain-marie.
Which is a hot water bath?
A hot water bath. I just wanted to see if you were going to know what that is.
I was like, wait a second. What are you trying to fool me with, like the fancy cooking lingo?
You'll have to cook it in a hot water bath. We tried over and over and over and over again to make this quickly in a microwave, and it just never worked.
And then we sort of stopped for a second, and we were like, you know what? We don't get worried to share a ribs recipe with you guys because it takes longer than 30 seconds in the microwave.
Right.
So this is something that's really delicious, very few ingredients, so it's gonna take you some time to make it. Who cares?
It's gonna take you time to cook it, not to make it. So let's start making it right now. Let's go over the ingredients. 4 simple ingredients.
I love it.
Okay. We need some eggs.
Okay. Are these ones happy?
Actually,
these are happy
5
eggs.
ingredients, I believe. We need almond milk, but you can also use any other nut milk or just water, but we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah.
We need some protein powder. Again, we're gonna just today use vanilla Keto Chow. This works really well with pistachio, with the lemon meringue, salted caramel, you name it. Vanilla is nice and easy, and you can even add other flavors too.
Right, I like this because you can change the flavor yourself, especially with like the OOO drops.
Final ingredient, you need some sweetener. And we're gonna recommend that you use a liquid sweetener.
Yes.
You can use the powdered, although could not tell you the ratios other than I would say probably start off with about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of like a powdered erythritol, like Swerve. Don't use granular, it won't work right.
No.
But the reason that we're gonna tell you to use liquid is you won't be adding any total carbs to it.
How nice is that?
The one that we've been using the most is gonna be stevia. You can also use liquid monk fruit. or you can even use liquid sucralose. I'll leave a link for this down below, which is what Keto Chow is sweetened. Sweetener is optional, and you're gonna go by, you know, however sweet you want to make it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, push that stuff off to the side because I have everything already measured out other than your Keto Chow.
I love that about you.
So we're gonna use a blender. You can also use a stick blender, but you really do need to mix it. Blender, food processor, or a stick blender. Don't try to hand do this.
No.
Okay, are you doing this recipe?
I'm totally doing it.
Okay, first thing we're gonna start off with, 2 cups of liquid. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is I feel it tastes best with 2 cups of almond milk, hemp milk, macadamia nut milk, any milk that you want.
Yes.
It also tastes really good with half milk, half water. We have made it with 2 cups of straight water, and you get the same exact consistency.
Which we were shocked.
Yeah, so I like the way it tastes with 2 cups of almond milk, but you can do this with 2 cups of any liquid.
Well, I wouldn't suggest lemonade or sweet tea or
obviously
coffee.
2 cups of milk.
I just like the fact that if you didn't have any kind of almond milk, you could still do it.
You can still do it. 4 eggs.
These ones are happy.
Now, the eggs are going to serve for 2 things. Up your protein, and that will be the fat for your Keto Chow. So you don't need to add any butter. As a matter of fact, I tried making it by adding some butter. It tasted okay, but did not give us that custard consistency that we were looking for.
Which I am super excited about because, I mean, we're using the fancy eggs here, but you could use the ones that are 75 cents a dozen at Aldi.
That's right.
If you wanted to.
Now we're gonna add some sweetener. I would tell you to start off low, and then you can always like use a little finger test with the liquid and say, hey, would I like it a little bit sweeter? I like it without any sweetener. Rachel wants sweetener in there. We're gonna go with a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of stevia. I'd start off with a half a teaspoon, which is what we have right here.
We have even stirred in a drop or 2 after the fact.
Yeah.
If you don't like the sweetness, because of the fact it's liquid, it incorporates well.
So while we're on the subject of sweetener, I wanna mention one thing. Liquid sucralose. Very, 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 very sweet. You'll see this is a little bottle that I keep in my other room. I have it written on here. 1 drop is equal to 1 teaspoon of sugar. So you're looking at 5 drops of this equal to about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of stevia. So very, very little. It is very sweet.
It's not lying.
I've had this bottle for 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's how potent it is. You do not need a lot of liquid sucralose. There's no maltodextrin in this. It's concentrated sucralose mixed with water.
Exactly.
Okay, last ingredient, 1 scoop of protein powder. We're again using vanilla. Make sure you pack it in. If you really wanted to have it right, you can weigh it out. What we do is just pack it in.
How's that look?
That looks pretty good.
Ooh.
Okay. Blend it up.
Should you go faster?
Yeah, you can go fast just for a couple seconds. The whole idea is just mix it up. Okay, ready?
Done.
That part's done. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to make this. We're gonna take 9x13 dish, and we're gonna get some ramekins. These are 8-ounce ramekins. I'll leave a link for them down below. We get them on Amazon. They're pretty inexpensive. It's like 20 bucks for 8 of them.
Now here's the thing I do not think that we emphasized. We made 1 serving of Keto Chow.
Yep.
So this can all be mine. All of this that we're making, 6 ramekins, and we'll talk a little bit later about why we're eating it this way.
Yep. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just going to fill the ramekins. Each one's gonna get, if you wanna measure it out exactly, 5 ounces of liquid. I'm just gonna eyeball it.
It is not gonna puff up like you're making little souffles or anything where it goes over the top of
It'll
the
cook up a
ramekin.
little bit, but not much.
But not like...
You're going about halfway,
I'm
depending
afraid of.
on the ramekin. It depends on how big your ramekin is.
It's not a mug cake.
I happen to think the ramekins are really good for making mug cakes now that you mentioned those. That's one of the reasons
It
that we
is.
keep a lot of them.
But sometimes I'm watching them as they cook and being like, oh my goodness, it's about to bubble over.
Okay. Now, before we move on, I do want to say you do not have to make these in ramekins. You can make them in one big shallow dish, but it still has to go into a hot water bath. So you'd be looking at like some kind of a ceramic kind of souffle dish, something that would fit inside of here. You're just going to have to increase your cooking time. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take some water, and I usually like to just take one out to do this, and you're going to fill the water up, fill the pan up halfway. You don't want it to come over the top of the ramekins because it will start bubbling over.
Right.
The idea of this is just to have an even cook. Into the oven, 350 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes.
Here we go. So through the magic of television, we have completed the cooking process.
Magic of television, we already had a set made. I want to say one thing about the cooking. Our oven doesn't cook evenly. I find the back actually cooks a little bit slower than the front. So around the 25-minute mark, I usually go around, turn it around to 180 degrees. But when I say 30 to 35 minutes for cooking, you want to cook it until the center is firm, but still a little jiggly. Because when you take it out, it's going to continue cooking a little bit more.
Jiggly's always good.
Once you take it out, remove them from the hot water bath. Wait about 10 minutes. You can eat them warm, or you can put them in the refrigerator.
Now, I actually like to eat them warm, but I love the fact if you're like me and you always feel like your keto chow shake or your protein shake, you can down that way quickly. It's nice to have where you can eat it a little bit slower. It slows you down. I eat one, I put the rest of them in the refrigerator, and I go back one after one in, you know, a small eating period, but
Right.
still, I don't just hork it down so fast.
So you can eat this as a dessert or, like Rachel, as a complete meal, one at a time. We're gonna top this off with just a little bit of whipped cream.
Why not? Here we go. It's so good.
Perfect sweetness, perfect texture. I love it. Great as a dessert, great as a meal. Very quickly, let's go over the nutrition because this is what makes this so amazing. Each one of these cups, if you measure them out equally, 76 calories, and this is using 2 cups of almond milk.
Yeah.
76 calories, 4 grams of fat, 9 grams of protein, 1.4 total carbs, 1.3 grams of fiber, which would make it 0.1 net carbs. And the carbs are coming from the almond milk, which is 1 carb per serving, and also the acacia gum, which is in the keto chow. If you eat all 6,
Which I will.
458 calories,
Totally reasonable.
25 grams of fat, 52 grams of protein, 8.1 total carbs,
Total for all of them.
7.7 grams of fiber, making it 0.4 net carbs if you eat all 6 as a meal. I would not suggest eating one, waiting an hour, eating another one. You're going to be spiking insulin. Eat it like Rachel does. Eat one, go back to the refrigerator, get another one, to have like the sequential eating where you're taking your time to eat them.
It is my new go-to instead of the keto chow ice cream in the bathtub because I can actually eat this outside of the bathtub. It's not too cold.
Well, that is going to be our video for today. If you like different types of cooking videos like this, take a look at our recipe playlist, which you can find right down here. Also, make sure you check out our most recent video, which you can find by clicking right over there.
But whether you like this or that, don't forget to do this. Hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified every single time we upload a new recipe video.
Until next time.
Bye.